What's going on, guys? Xbox Gut. Welcome back to another video. So if you guys weren't here around for my recent poll that I put up, I asked you guys if I wanted to make a gaming video or a manga video or both. And you know, as I assumed, I'm glad you guys picked both because I'm here to talk to you guys today about my most anticipated games of all time. So let's just get right into it. So with this list, I only have 4 games. 2 of them are from, you know, games that I have anticipated in my past, and 2 games that I am anticipating right now. So let's just start with the games that I have anticipated in my past for sure, because the games that I have anticipated right now are some heavy hitters for sure. So let's just talk about a game that means near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite games of all time. If you guys know, I mean, one of my favorite games of all time. This is my original copy of Destiny 1 on the Xbox One. You know, I've spent thousands of hours in this game. I've made so many friends, I've made so many memories, made so much loot. You know, this game has put so much nostalgia, so much memory in my mind. You know, just recently I was literally listening to the soundtrack to this game because it's such a nostalgia trip, just listening to the Orbit music and stuff like that. This game hits home, definitely. And not to mention that it is one of the most fun gameplay wise. Like it basically meshed together MMOs and first-person shooters. You know, you got raids, strikes, missions. It's just so good at a story, good multiplayer. This game was definitely it back then. I mean, it wasn't definitely received well in the critics' eyes or even people's eyes, but me, this was one of my favorite games of all time. This is my favorite game of all time. I just have so many good memories of it, and I will always hold this copy and cherish this game till the day I die. And alright, guys, so a little history. Whenever I first got my PlayStation 5, the game I picked up was God of War 2018 or 2016. I'm not too sure what year it came out. Yeah, this game blew my mind because I'm a pretty big God of War fan, but then again, I've never played and beaten any of them. You know, I've only played God of War 3 back then. Now I've played and beaten a lot of them. But yeah, back then, the only God of War that I had on my belt was God of War 3. And when I played and beat this game was an emotional, story-driven, crazy ride. I loved it from the very beginning to the very end. It was just too short in my eyes. Thankfully, whenever I got my PS5, God of War Ragnarok was right around the corner. You know, I did have to wait, you know, a year and a half for it. But it was one of my most anticipated games ever. It probably is my most anticipated game of all time. This game means a whole lot to me because, you know, as I was saying earlier, this game is so good. And, you know, it really solidified what I think a good game is. It instantly shot up to my top 5 games of all time. I really adored God of War 2016, but this game, man, was one of my most anticipated games ever, just because of the pure fact that I wanted to see where the story went, man. I wanted to see what happens to Atreus. I want to see what happens to Kratos, because if you guys don't know the ending of 2016, it's such a cliffhanger ending, and you just want to know what happens. And yeah, man, this game just is a world that I want to be in all the time. I'm about 22 hours in. I am loving it. I don't know where I'm at in the story. I don't know if I'm halfway or more than halfway, but I am loving this game. There are definitely sections that are better than others. Like, it's not too much of a spoiler, but there are sections where you do play as Atreus, and there are sections where you obviously play as Kratos. But the sections where you play as Atreus are good, but they definitely do drag whenever you get to doing the side content in his part of the game. Because, you know, you just kind of want to get back to the main quest, you know, Kratos. I mean, it's not that it's not the main quest. It's just you want to get back to Kratos, you know what I'm saying? But this game's anticipation rate was insane. I couldn't believe that I went to GameStop, picked it up, and I just popped through my PS5 and was able to play it that night. And so far, is it living up to the hype? Absolutely. I would consider God of War 2016 and this game to be one big game, personally. I mean, it's just, the story is continuing. It's left off right where it began. I mean, it does take place obviously 5 years later, but there's not much that happens within that 5 years there within hiding. Very good game. The puzzles are good. The graphics are fantastic. It's the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game. I love God of War Ragnarok. Alright, guys, so for some games that I have been anticipating recently, very much, like, you know, same thing with manga, same thing with video games. You have these badass series, badass games that are just sitting on the shelves, alluding to you. These games just are so anticipated to me, and I cannot wait to hop into all of these. So with the first game, this was gifted to me from my girlfriend. Thank you so much, babe. And this has to be one of my most anticipated games yet. This is Xeno Saga And I do have episodes 2 and 3 right here. I'm just not gonna pull them out, but the entirety of this series is just so hyped up in my mind. I'm letting Xenogears, you know, rest in my mind, you know, so I could definitely go into this fresh, because Xenogears is such a good, crazy story in a game. But I cannot wait to hop into what is basically the spiritual successor to Xenogears. I cannot wait to hop into this, and it just looks so much fun. I mean, it has what looks like great characters, great combat. I hear that Xenosaga Episode 2 definitely takes a dip in quality, but I cannot wait to hop into that one as well, because, you know, if it's a world and story and characters that I like, I would love time with it and time to spend with it, just like God of War Ragnarok. So for another game that I've been anticipating, you know, honestly, since I was a little boy, this one is another game that means near and dear to my heart. We have the full complete in box experience right here. This is going to be Final Fantasy X. Yeah, it does have some GameStop stickers up there, some down there as well. But yeah, this is the complete in box experience. Has the manual and the game. This game is a very childhood nostalgia trip for me, because I remember my father playing this game on PlayStation 2, man, and me just picking up this case and just looking at it with awe, you know, just wondering like what's happening on the cover, who's this, what's the sword about, you know. And just seeing him play it was just astonishing to me, seeing those kind of graphics back then. It's the turn-based combat system that everyone knows and loves. It's not your action-based to where it's, you know, timer-based. It is just straight up turn, you take your turn. It is so awesome. I've played this recently actually on my PS Vita. Didn't get too far. This was years and years ago that I tried to play it. But now looking back and remembering those fond memories as a child of, you know, this game growing up, is one of my most anticipated games today. And alright guys, for the final game that I've been anticipating the very most, that has just been eluding me so bad. I've been wanting to crack this in my PlayStation 1 since the day I got it. I've been holding off because, you know, I've been playing a lot of great games like God of War Ragnarok and stuff like that, but, you know, I'm just saving this game for a very special time, you know, where I can definitely just dive in and give it all that it's worth. This is going to be Chrono Cross on the PlayStation 1, man. This is complete in box as well. Has the manual, both discs. This game, man, the soundtrack is fantastic. I've never played a game, or I've never done something like I've listened to the soundtrack before I've even played the game. You know, I literally love this soundtrack so much. I listen to it, you know, on the way to work, while I'm at work. This soundtrack is so good. The intro song where Chrono Cross is on the screen and you have to press start, that is one of the most beautiful songs I've heard in gaming. This is just one of my most anticipated games because people didn't like it that much. People say that this was a Chrono Trigger 2, and it literally says that on the back, that it is a continuation of Chrono Trigger, which is actually insane because it really isn't. It's new characters, new world. You know, Chrono Trigger bases on time travel, this bases on dimension travel, and that sounds awesome to me. And it's just straight up my alley. It has an innovative combat system, sounds like great characters, and on top of that, you can collect over 40 party members in the game, some that even rival the main character, I hear, which is so cool, man. I cannot wait to play this game, and I have my PS1 and everything ready to go up on the 4K television. I cannot wait to play it, guys. But with that being said, guys, that has been my most anticipated games, you know, past, present. I hope you guys did enjoy, though. It was just super fun to make this video because honestly it's just a nostalgia trip, and it's just something that gets me more excited to play the games that I own. So without further ado, hope you guys enjoyed. Discord's gonna be down in the comment section. Later, guys.